Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. This is episode 72. I hope everyone is having a great week. Happy Wednesday. Almost at the end of the week. Well, tonight's guest, we have MJ Holloway. MJ Holloway is a University of Florida Division I track and field athlete. It's a pleasure to have him on tonight's show. So MJ Holloway, welcome on the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. It's great to have you on the show tonight.
Thank you. Just happy to be here and blessed to see another day.
Absolutely. So how's your week going so far?
Week's actually going pretty good. We had school canceled yesterday and today due to the hurricane. Luckily, it didn't hit my surrounding areas too bad, but prayers out to the areas that did get affected. But I just had a little light rain and some showers, but we're doing all good over here.
Yeah, I saw on the news and I saw some stuff from the University of Florida that you guys were going to be getting some pretty bad weather. And I thought the hurricane was going to be hitting there. The University of Florida football team decided to kind of leave a little bit early. Exciting for Gators football fans. We have a game tomorrow. Excited about that against Utah. That'll be really exciting. The door is open to see what we'll be able to do this season, but I'm really glad it's finally back. Can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Yeah, time just goes by fast. I'm a big fan of anything Florida. So any chance I get to support any student athletes and stuff like that, like all my friends. So I got a lot of friends on the football team. So excited to go watch them do their thing tomorrow.
Yeah, most definitely. So I first wanted to ask you, and kind of just just throw it out there. Tell everyone who you are and kind of what you do, because we connected through Instagram a few weeks ago, actually kind of through Grant Holloway, because I had him on the podcast a few weeks ago, which was a pleasure to have on. He was amazing. He's a 3-time world champion now, so it was a pleasure to have him on. But I want the listeners to get to know a little bit more about you and kind of what you do, and kind of take it from there.
Yeah, so pretty much I'm a long and triple jumper here on the University of Florida track and field team. I know we connected through Instagram and through Grant. So Grant happens to be my cousin. He actually ran here as UF, and so I'm sure everybody figured out by when you were talking to him. But my story is a little bit different. My dad's actually the head track coach at the university. So I've been around this program for a very, very long time. So just seeing all the different faces and people's lives change coming through, I knew that's something I wanted to be a part of growing up. Fun fact about me is I didn't actually triple jump until I actually stepped foot on this college's campus. I was predominantly a 400, 800 meter runner. And then my dad or coach or whatever you want to say, he asked me if I wanted to jump here at UF, and I instantly jumped on the opportunity. It was either I was going to do that or I was going to go play basketball at a small D3 school. I decided this was a better route for me in my academic and athletic hopes. So I decided to come here. And then after a couple years here, picked up triple jump and became a SEC finalist in that, and got some high hopes for this season.
Yeah, most definitely. No, and that was going to be one of my first questions for you is what is it like being coached by your dad, Mike Holloway, who is, a very notable coach in the track and field program. The University of Florida is very notable. They're very prominent. They've had, runners like Grant Holloway. They potentially would have had Noah Lyles if he would have committed to the University of Florida. Well, he did, but he decided to take a different route, and they've had other runners as well. I'm sure you know the names, but what is it like being coached by, your dad?
Honestly, it's been a very smooth ride. I'm not going to sit here and say that it was a smooth ride the entire time. But while I was in college, it's been very smooth. I mean, he coached me throughout middle school and high school as well. And that's where we kind of smoothed out everything, when he was used to yell at me at practice and stuff like that. I used to take it a little personal, I'm not going to lie. And my mom came up to me one day and was like, well, you don't feel some type of way or get any type of way when your other coaches yell at you. It's the same thing. When you're out there, obviously he's still my dad, but he's coaching me, trying to push me the best person and best athlete that I can be. And then when we get home, we can laugh and joke and be dad and son and do all that stuff. So that's kind of the mindset I go into it with things. When we're at track meets, like, yes, I know that's my dad and everything, but he's trying to coach me because we both know what our goal is and we both know what we're trying to attain. And when you look at it like that, it makes it a lot easier to take his advice.
Yeah, no, and you definitely hit all the points there. But for you didn't always start in track and field. You started in basketball. So what made you transfer, or what was the transition, or why was the transition from basketball to track and field? Like, why did you do the transfer?
To be honest, I didn't like track. I also I'm a basketball person even to this day. Like I like hooping with my friends and my teammates even to this day.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I really started track because I wanted to, get faster for basketball. I'm like, if I could be quick and strong and powerful on a basketball court, I might not be the tallest guy, but if I have those attributes that we can maybe get somewhere. And then just over time, like track just started, I just getting better and better at track. I looked up my junior year. I finished 11th in the 400 in the state. My senior year, I was 7th in the state in the long jump. I split 48 seconds on my 4x4, got us third in the state. So I kind of just looked up, and track kind of just seemed like the more route that I was going to have to take.
Yeah.
Basketball, I still had the option. Going to a D3 school, but I didn't have all the skill sets I needed to be a college basketball player. I mean, in high school, being in a small town like Gainesville, in terms of high schools, it's a lot easier to get away with some things in terms of your athletic ability. So I knew like it was a lot easier for me to better myself for track and field than it was for me to go further in basketball.
All right. So since we know you like basketball, you're a big basketball fan. Who's your favorite NBA player?
My favorite actually NBA player is Kyrie Irving. He's somebody I try to, model my game after a little bit, put my little spin on it. I like how he could just score at the rim with ease and with will, and you have to guard him at all points of the floor. I liked him ever since he came out of Duke. I can't hate on LeBron. He's just, he's taking over the league. Um, I like Jokic. I just like how, a big man that can pass and do like the things, the unorthodox things,
Yeah.
just like that. So those are probably like my top three players I like.
That's a pretty interesting top three right there. Imagine those three together on a team. Oh my
That would be a
goodness.
scary team. That would
Oh,
be a
we saw
really scary
we,
team.
we saw LeBron and Kyrie play together. So what would be like with having Jokic on there? Whew.
That would be a scary three. I don't think you have to build one crazy super team to beat that guy right there.
Yeah, you really would have to. So yeah, it's really cool to hear. You do other things than track and field. So what do you like to do in your free time?
My free time, I actually have picked up photography as one of my
Wow.
like, habits. So I actually at the university, I take pictures for the other sports teams on campus. So you might look up and see me on the sidelines of a soccer game or a basketball game, with a camera in my hand. Photography is just a different way for me to express my love for sports. I like the emotion. I like the camaraderie. I love that kind of stuff. So being able to capture that moment that lasts forever and people look back. People love pictures nowadays. Everybody's
Yeah.
asking for a picture to be taken, with the days of social media going on right now that everybody's trying to upload and have a bunch of all these pictures. So if I could, find my way into that and keep myself relevant, that's what I'm gonna do.
So when did you get into photography?
So actually, I got into photography in high school. It was a class. It was a last minute class I had to take, just have enough credits to be enrolled and eligible and stuff like that. And then I kind of didn't take it seriously at first. I was like, oh, whatever. Like everybody takes pictures. Our phone has cameras. Like whatever. Like what are you gonna teach me that's so cool about photography? But it ended up being something that I actually ended up really liking. I have my own personal camera. I go out and do my own personal stuff on the side. So it's just been something that's kind of just helps me kind of step away from the track and kind of build a different name for myself.
Helps you kind of clear your head, gives you that like mental clarity of just like, all right, I do so much on the track and field. I'm always putting all my time and effort, energy into that. I can, step aside and, build something else. And that's really cool. I like that. I like when athletes have more than a story to tell than just being on the track or just being a basketball player. It's really cool to hear other things about them because there's so many different, aspects and things to you guys. It's really cool to hear you're not just a track and field runner. Like there's more to you,
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
but yeah, I wanted to ask you about like your trying to think here because I'm just drawing a blank. It's just you have so many cool things going on for you, and it's just really cool to hear about the track and field aspect of it, the photography aspect. But what do you think is one thing you could work on or think you could become better at for track and field? Because there's so many different aspects of track and field. You got 4x4, you got 300 hurdles. I ran track in high school, so I kind of have a background of track and field. Like I understand it, not to the level of you do, but like what is one thing you think you could really like perfect your craft and become better at for track and field?
So I would say, I mean, I'm a little biased, but I would say triple jump is one of the hardest events in track and field. I'm definitely going to give my props to the 400 and the 800 crew. That is one event that I have run myself, so I know the grueling hours that you have to put in for training and stuff like that. But I would just say triple jump is just super technical. You got to be able to have speed and then come down and plant your foot on the ground and cycle that foot back around. And it's so much force. It's almost, I think the scientists, it's almost 2 to 3 times your body weight each time you plant your leg down once you start the triple jump. And being able to do that on both legs is something that few could do and come out healthy with. But I would say something I could do that I could be more attention to detail. I get really amped up and really excited when I'm at meets. I'm a big energizer guy. So even when I'm on a basketball court, like I'm the guy that bringing the energy. I'm yelling, screaming, diving for balls, whatever it may be. So I'm just the energizer guy. So sometimes I just need to work on calming myself down and remembering the fundamentals so that I can get amped up at the end when I jump for.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that. And kind of, piggybacking off of that there, you're like the Draymond Green, you're like the Swiss Army knife. You're always, you're diving for loose ball. You're always wanting to be there. But that mentality is a really good way to look at it because there's things that you can improve on, but you're also getting other guys involved. You're the light of the tunnel. You're the guy.
Absolutely.
There's a light
Absolutely.
at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I definitely pride myself in my energy that I bring to the team. I definitely I love putting a smile on somebody's face. That makes my day 10 times better. If I could just come out to the track and make one person smile, make one person laugh, because we all have our own things that we're going through. As
Yeah.
student athletes, people like to, oh, they have everything, these handouts and everything, but the life of a student athlete is very hard. And sometimes it takes a toll on a lot of people's mentals and a lot of people's bodies. So just being able to, if I can make one person's day better, then that's what I'm going to do. And my teammates look for that. I mean, they've even told me I sometimes avoid you because I don't want to talk to you because you have so much energy, but I know it's gonna make me feel better. And I tell them straight up, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make we're gonna have a good day. Like my
Yeah.
saying I've been bringing to the track is today's a great day to have a great day. I say that probably almost every day. And it just keeps the mindset of no matter what happens, like we're looking at right now, and today's a great day to have a great day.
I really like that a lot. And I think that's really something that people can take from this podcast because we do talk a lot about sports. We like to interview athletes like yourself and other, people around the world that have a very interesting story they want to share. But, having somebody on the podcast like you who is a student athlete, kind of we get to hear the behind the scenes, the backstory of what your life is like. And it's really cool to hear. And I'm so glad you said that because I think some people just really need to, sit back and see what's in front of them. And it's so good that you have that high energy because a lot of people they don't have that and they need that. And also, like you said, you always want to put a smile on somebody's face. The littlest things in life, holding the door for somebody, doing the littlest things can really change somebody's day. You could be super beneficial to somebody you didn't even know. You could change their life like that. You don't even know what they're going through. Like you said, everyone has their own issues, everyone has their own problems, but just the little small things matter so much in life. Just the key little snippets you can just take and learn from those experiences. Like you said, just putting a smile on somebody's face that could change their entire day.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna sit here and say I was born with that mindset.
Yeah.
I definitely got that from my mom and my dad, and they definitely installed in me, just kindness is everything, no matter just being the bigger person, or even if you just maybe I'm not having a good day myself, but I can still put a smile on somebody else's face. That also makes my day better because now I feel good that I made them feel good. It's just a blessing. And I tell my teammates and stuff all the time, like, we're athletes and stuff like that, and we're blessed to be here at the University of Florida. But that can go away in an instant. We can
Yep.
get hurt. We can get hurt walking down the sidewalk. You can get hurt. Somebody else could make a mistake, and that ends up hurting you. So just
Yeah.
being blessed and in the moment, and knowing that tomorrow's not promised to any of us, and just going out because I don't want to end on a bad day. So just making it like no one wants to go to sleep unhappy. No one wants to go to sleep sad and stuff like that. So if I could even start it with myself and then spread that joy to others, then that's what I like to do.
Yeah, exactly. I have that same mentality too. People ask me at work, they're like, "You said good morning to all those people as they walk by?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course, because I want to be able to put a smile on somebody's face. I really, I'm not the biggest morning person, but saying good morning to somebody can change their entire day. They see that and they're like, "Oh, that person said good morning to me. I'm going to say it back to them tomorrow." Like you said, kind of putting a smile on somebody's face as they walk by, and it could change their entire outlook on the day. They may have they may have spilled their coffee coming into work. They may have been in the craziest traffic. I live in California. The Los Angeles traffic here is crazy, but you
I
live
can
in,
only imagine.
it's crazy, but you live in Gainesville. So you kind of understand too that there's so many students and people, and you see on a daily basis from going to classes and having track practice, they could be having the worst morning ever. And you said good morning to that person, and that resonates with them and that sticks with them. Their whole day might have just finger snaps like that, and
Absolutely.
it's just a little thing. So I'm really glad you said that. But in Gainesville, there's some cool food places. There's not the most, but there are some. So are you a food person? What kind of food do you like what's your go-to type of meal, or what are you getting into?
It depends on the day. A typical hard practice, long day. I might, stop and get, some Blaze pizza, some Chick-fil-A, some Chipotle. I'm sure my trainers don't want to hear that I'm getting the most of those kind of foods, but it is what it
Yeah.
is. I definitely, special occasions I might stop at, Yamato's for one of my friends' birthdays or something like that. But I'm definitely a huge food person. So I try to get my meals in as much as I can. It's definitely a great way to recover. So but also at the same time, we have a great facility on campus that feeds us 3 meals a day. So it's really hard not to go in there and get food. I mean, it's
Yeah.
free food, 3 meals a day, and they're serving great food. It's not like it's just, oh, like here's a piece of pizza and some whatever. Like, we'll have, sometimes they'll have seafood in there. They'll have chicken, rice, salmon, all that kind of stuff, like all home cooked stuff. So it's really
Yeah.
hard not to go in there and eat during the week. But sometimes on the weekend I might splurge a little bit, get some canes, get some fried chicken. But that's definitely something that I try to eat in the facility as much as I can, and then maybe splurge a little bit on the weekend.
Hey, you get to save money that way too. And with us young kids, I mean, being, single and wanting to save money, it's super smart. Hey, you get a, really good beneficial part there. You get to go to the dining hall. The meals are really good. I know from previous friends of mine and some athletes that you guys are taken well care of. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
definitely
no,
take.
you guys are definitely well taken care of.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think here because you just have so much going on as an athlete and student athlete. But for the track side, for you, how often what's the training process is like? What's the training process like for you on a daily basis? Like morning, afternoon, because you have to balance your school schedule. Like how does that all work out for you?
So on a typical day in fall, we're in fall training right now. I'm
Yeah.
getting ready for the season that starts in January. So a typical day for me is most days, not every day. I'll have class from about 9 to 12. So I'll wake up, leave my house, go get breakfast at the facility, and then I'll walk to my class, be in class for about 2.5, 3 hours, and then I'll leave class, and then I'll go to the dining hall and grab some lunch, and then after I grab lunch, we'll go out to the track or go to the weight room, whatever time period it is, and we'll go to practice. So typically we're on the track for about 2 hours. And then you go from the track and you might stop at the facility, get a quick drink or a quick snack, and then you're off to the weight room for weights for another hour and a half, 2 hours. And then once you get out of there, it's back to the facility for dinner, and you get your dinner food and you either eat it there or you go home, and now it's time to buckle down for some homework or tutoring session or whatever you have going on the rest of the night. So that's about it. Just a typical day is mostly just trying to stay on schedule. It's pretty much pattern every day. So it's about the same thing every day. Yeah.
How do you balance your school schedule with your track and field life and everything else going on the outside of school and track and field?
I would definitely say it's definitely a challenge, but we have great coaching staff and great nutritionists and people that care at the University of Florida. Our coach, the first thing he says to us is send me your class schedule, and that's because he wants to know when we have class, when we're eating, and when we're getting up and
Wow.
stuff like that, so that he can plan our practices accordingly. Like I won't have practice at the same time every day. Like Monday practice will be, let's say, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But Tuesday I might have practice at 12:30 because I might not have class. So he's very understanding with the fact that and our coach, our head coach, he's definitely always about we're being student first. So school grades come first because without grades we can't be eligible. So we can put in
Yeah.
all this work all fall and all summer, but if you're not eligible, it doesn't mean anything. So he
Yeah.
definitely he reads all the grade reports, and he's called me a couple times like, look, like I need you to get your grades together, and he's pretty tough on me, but I take it with a grain of salt and know he just wants me to be able to count on me when it matters.
I know it's your dad, but he's checking your grades in the morning. He's checking it at lunchtime. He's checking it at nighttime. When you come home, dinner's ready on the table. The report card is out there. The class schedule. He's looking it down. He's checking it all over. That's funny though.
Absolutely. But yeah,
That's
no,
funny.
they definitely take great care of us here at the university, and there's a lot of people that care. That's one thing I can say about the University of Florida. There's a lot of people that care. Like any recruit, anybody that asks me about the University of Florida, I always tell them you have to try to fail or not succeed here, because even if you might not show interest at the beginning, there's constant people that are going to keep trying and trying and trying, and it's really hard to get those people to leave you alone. So you have to really try not to succeed here at UF.
They're like pests, but they're in your best interest. Like
Absolutely.
they're there to help you. And some people don't see that, and it's sad because there's so many good athletes out there, so many good student athletes, and they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and their career just gets crushed by a few minor mistakes or sometimes major mistakes. But on a lighter note, what is your funniest track and field story you've ever been a part of?
Funniest track and field story. Man. Actually, I got a couple of them actually.
Give me your
One
best
of them,
one.
one of them I would say would probably have to be when I got a concussion at long jump practice one day. I actually we went off the springboard, and I just was in the air so high. I really didn't know what to do with myself. Like I kind of just was up there, kind of just floating around, and then I happened to come down and just kind of just landed awkwardly. And it's just like it obviously wasn't funny in the moment, but looking back at it, like who gets a concussion long like at a practice like and jumping in sand that's soft. Like
Oh,
it's just always funny to think about and I was only out for like a day. I really didn't have a concussion, but they put me on concussion protocol. Um, but it was just one of those things like it's funny to laugh at it now. And then even my teammates will laugh about it and we all as a jumper, you fall in sand. It is
yeah,
what it is. Like I've
yeah.
gone to a meet and I was running down in the middle of a meet. I'm running down. I come off the board. I just didn't feel right. And I kind of just didn't jump, but I tripped in the sand and kind of just face planted and had like sand
Oh,
all down my face. And
oh,
like all my teammates are laughing because there's just saying we're at a meet, we're trying to compete, and they're all trying to like be serious and stuff. But it's just like little things like that we can look back on and just laugh about because we know the pain and the struggle of being a jumper.
those are the funniest moments that you can look back on when it's all said and done. You're like, I did that. I fell doing that. I got sand in my.
Yeah.
Do you wear contacts?
I actually don't wear contacts. These aren't like I wear actual glasses
Yeah,
like them. These are just blue light glasses that I picked up because I like to play video games. So
yeah.
it just protects my eyes from the screen. But
You're
I
you're
like
a
I like
gamer.
the way I look at them, so I always wear them.
Little style action. You're a gamer.
Oh, absolutely. I got a PlayStation 5. I try to
Oh,
play almost
geez.
every day. Me and my teammates are probably gonna call me in about 30 minutes, tell me to get on the game. So like I take gaming. I don't say I take it like super, super seriously. I'm not like grinding all day and night. I mean, I don't have time to do that anyway,
Right,
but
right.
just hop on the game, have some fun, and be able to talk some smack to my friends when we come to practice. Like, dude, like I was carrying you the whole time, or like, dude, I'm way better than you, stuff like that.
So those kind of go into the funny stories because there's some funny stories from playing whatever game you play with us, Call of Duty, 2K, Madden. You guys definitely have some funny stories. So I love that one a lot.
Absolutely.
You're sitting in a
Absolutely.
you're sitting in a gaming chair as well. So I definitely know you're a
I
gamer.
am in a gaming chair. I am in a gaming chair. So I like to get comfortable. So I'm gonna get in the chair, get comfortable, and I got a nice TV that I play on, and make sure I have no excuses to when I play that.
What's your go-to game that you play on PS5?
And it's funny too. Like it just depends on like the time frame, you know. Like well, sometimes we'll hop on Call of Duty for like a couple weeks, and everybody's on Call of Duty, and then we'll look up and everybody's on GTA, and now we're all playing GTA for a month, and then sometimes it's 2K. Like I already know when the new 2K drops, everybody's gonna be on 2K for the
Yep.
next half months, so that's gonna be the game here soon. But right now we're on GTA. GTA is just a Grand Theft Auto. We just go down there and just do a bunch of just random stuff.
Your teammates may say otherwise. Would you say you're the best video game player on the team, whether it's Call of Duty or 2K or whatever game you play? Would you say you deserve the crown for the best player on the team?
It depends on the game and what we're doing. Now, 2K, I'm not gonna take 2K because there's some of my
Okay.
teammates are really good at 2K and Call of Duty. I know they're gonna kill me if I say I'm the best at Call of Duty. So
Uh
they can have Call of Duty, but GTA, I'm taking GTA. I'm taking any other game. I'm taking whatever it's Fortnite, whatever Madden, whatever. I'm taking the crown of that. They can probably
Uh-oh.
got it, but I'll give them their little card and their 2K credit.
They may say otherwise, but I do like that little sense of confidence there. That's awesome. Well, before we do wrap up the show, we get to the 5 questions. I wanted to ask you, is there anything that you could share with listeners or something you would like to get off your chest that you've been thinking about for a while? Because I do always like to ask people this, kind of sometimes just, let it all out. Is there anything on your chest or on your mind that you would like to get out and for people to listen and maybe like, take this when they listen to it and be like, wow, I really like that.
I always try to say, if people ask me that question, is track and sport is a beautiful sport, and I think people don't realize that. And I think that the jumpers aspect and the throwers and stuff like that, people have a short attention span nowadays. That's why people love the 100 and the 200, because it's 10 to 20 seconds long. But so the jumpers, the throwers, we're out there working hard too. I think track and field is a sport that everybody should watch. I think it's more entertaining than people realize. And even on that note, like even with the stuff that Noah Lyles said,
Yeah.
it's very controversial. Like the way I agree with what he's saying about how the
Yeah.
world champion aspect. I think he could have been a little bit nicer about it, and he,
Yeah.
talked about maybe how like football says they're the world champs, and they don't like no really, not every country plays football, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard for you to say world champ when everybody says football. Now basketball, now we're leading into a little controversy because you got so many different people from so many different countries that come over to the NBA to
Yeah.
play. But I think what he was really just trying to say is that like we're out representing the country.
Yeah.
Not that they're not representing their countries, but like how we're going toe to toe, line to line with everybody from their country versus just the National Basketball Association. And I think that you see the KDs and the Drakes and all of them are commenting about it.
Yep.
It's brought a big following to track and field, which I don't think Noah. I think obviously Noah was trying to put track and field on game, but
Yeah.
I don't think he was trying to put it in that necessarily light of what he was trying to do. But I've been asked about it before. I mean, it's very controversial. I agree with what
Yeah.
he said. He could have been nicer about it. Could have went about it in a different way. But I think he was just trying to say that like when you're saying world champs, is you're representing the world versus all the other countries. But
I'm really glad you said that because I was going to ask you about the Noah Lyles controversy of the situation. Actually, a few people at work, I told them that I was going to be interviewing you, and I interviewed Grant a few weeks ago, and they were like, see what he has to say about the Noah Lyles stuff. And I was like, well, personally, I wanted to see if he was okay with it, but you kind of shared your thoughts. I know you have a platform yourself and, your dad is the coach, and we don't need, people knocking on your door because you're saying some outlandish stuff. But the way the world is now, I mean, it's sports. I mean, people say takes and stuff. Who really cares? But you are a student athlete and you have to hold yourself accountable, with your actions. And, like you said, with Noah Lyles, how he kind of spoke about it kind of came across the delivery was a little, in a way. He
yeah,
could, like you said, he could have said it better, but I'm really glad you kind of voiced your opinion about it because that has been kind of the talk of the town the past few days. Like you said, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, all the big notable NBA players. And, to a certain extent, Noah Lyles does have an opinion. He is correct in a way because the NBA is for the NBA, National Basketball Association. The FIBA World Cup is going on right now, but also we are Team USA. So I can understand where he's coming from that aspect. Yes, the delivery was a little off. Maybe he could have said it better, but he's very passionate about his sport. I had Grant on here a few weeks ago. I'm not sure if you got a chance to listen to that episode, but he did say, he's like, I wish we would be given more respect for what we put out there. And some people said otherwise in the comment section when we posted some clips about, what Grant had to say, but he's not wrong. I mean, Team USA is Team USA. the world, you know? So in that aspect, they're not wrong. And if any basketball player hears this, or I don't think Draymond Green or any of those guys are going to be listening, and guys I interview down the road, I don't really care. He has a point. He's not wrong. People are going to come after me for what I'm saying about this, but in a way, he's not wrong. Noah Lyles is correct. The statement was a little, he could have said it better, but when you look at the analytical terms or the logistics of it, he's not wrong. It's, you know, so
Yeah. So I that's my 2 cents on it, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, I think, track and field definitely deserves more respect than it is given.
yeah,
Um, I think it's a fantastic sport that could be doing a lot better. Not that it's doing bad, but I think it could be
yeah,
doing a lot better. And I think, just even if it's a college meet, or if it's a diamond league, or even if it's the Olympics, just take one time, tune into a couple events that maybe aren't the 100 and the 200, and see if you like it and see if you don't. I mean, I can't force you to like track and field. I mean,
right.
I can't force anybody to like track and field, but in terms of just the whole Noah Lyles thing, I think that, you know, I get where he's coming from with the world champs. I think he could have said it a little bit better, and I think his delivery was a little off. But at the end of the day, I think Noah's main objective was to bring attention to track and field,
Yeah.
and which he's doing. I'm sure not in the way that he wanted to, but
Yeah.
he is doing this. He is doing so. But I think he'll be okay. I don't think anything crazy is going to happen.
No, I think he's fine in that aspect, like you said. And sometimes you got to be a little passionate about what you believe in and what you're put out to do. He's an amazing runner. We've seen what he's been able to do. He's been a phenom, for quite some time now. Grant talked about Noah. He's friends with him. He's a great runner. Sometimes you gotta put yourself out there. You got to really show what you're made of and show that our product is just as good as yours. We just don't get the attention that you guys get.
Absolutely.
They don't like to hear it, but the blueprint is out there for what he's been able to accomplish. It's track and field is not an easy sport. You participated in it. You're a track and field athlete. You're a Division I athlete at one of the greatest universities in the world. I'm biased, but we are one of the greatest universities in the world. We have one of the best track and field programs. We have a great athletic program. Where I'm not, I guess I'm preaching to the choir here, but the numbers are out there. It shows. So I really I'm glad that we got a chance to talk about that. But before we do wrap up, we have our 5 questions for the end of the show. I always give my guests, my listeners, kind of an idea of what the guest is kind of going through, and see what you have to say. So my first question for you is where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself as a professional jumper, traveling the world with my dad as my coach and my mom as my number one support system.
What does your morning routine look like?
Morning routine, I get up. Well, I try to get up on the first alarm clock, but I get up after one of the alarm clocks goes off. Typically, I try to shower, try to wake myself up, get myself going through the day, take a quick shower, um, lotion up, moisturizer, get the skating routines and everything going. Make sure my hair looks good and everything, and then, pick out the outfit for the day. Make sure I have my clothes and everything for practice, and make sure my bag's packed with my computer and my paper and pencil and stuff like that. And then just head out the door to whatever I got going on that day.
What is your go-to meal for food?
Go-to meal for food. I would have to say a go-to meal for mine would be my mom's like home cooked just meatballs and rice with like some broccoli and some cornbread. That'll never go wrong. I will eat that any day of the week and twice on Sundays.
So now that you said that, when you get older, if you do have a family and kids, you have to make that meal for your kids.
Absolutely. That's something that I would not mind making. I might have to have my mom show me how to make it a couple times, but I definitely would not mind making that for my kids at any time point.
Mom, give me that recipe. I need that one there. Hey, mom, I need that recipe for my first date.
Absolutely. May have to lift that out for the first date one day.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Ooh, I would say my celebrity crush. I'd have to either go for the longest time it was Gabrielle Union. I'm not gonna lie. For the longest time, but I think I'm leaning more towards Sydney McLaughlin now. She's been around for about 4 years now. She's been probably my celebrity crush.
And when did you start learning about your craft?
I would say I became aware of track and field about when I was like probably 10. I mean, I knew what it was, my dad being the coach and flying to all the meets and driving to all the meets. But I think I really actually took it seriously and tried to understand when I was around like 10. And that's when I really was like, maybe I could do this one day, and maybe I could be a part of this team and wear the Gator uniform. And I kind of strayed away from that when I got to high school. I kind of was like, I don't want anything to do with Florida track and field. I want to go across the country to California and play basketball. And he could do his track thing, and I could do basketball. We could have it our separate ways. But it ended up coming back around by my senior year. I was like, it's looking like I'm gonna have to go to school and have to put on the uniform on. I have to. It's something that's a big goal of mine. I could tell my kids, I ran at the University of Florida and was coached by my dad. And the next goal is to tell my kids that I was a professional athlete.
Can never go wrong with putting that orange and blue on. Gator
Absolutely.
logo, one of my favorite logos of all time. I got a couple in my room as we speak, but it was a pleasure to have you on. But before we do wrap up, you have to plug your socials. You got to give the listeners your social media and kind of plug it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I 1K.MJ Holloway on Instagram. I believe it's MJ Holloway 10 on Twitter and TikTok. And that's pretty much what I use. I think it's MJ Holloway 10 on Snapchat as well.
Well, MJ Holloway, thank you so much for coming on the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. It was a pleasure to have you on. You are the light at the end of the tunnel. You have such a joy about you. I think you're going to do amazing things, and you're going to continue to progress in your career, and you're very level-headed. It was just great to have you on and kind of hear your story about your side stuff with photography and just being a student athlete and balancing your life and knowing there's more to track and field, knowing there's more to life than just track and field, and what you do in your free time. So it was just awesome to have you on. I love interviewing student athletes, especially people like you, because you have your head on straight. You've got a clear head. You're going forward. You're not going backwards. You're not looking left. You're not looking right. You're just seeing what's in front of you. So it was just great to have you on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you reaching out and taking the time to listen to my story and the things that I have to say. You got a great thing going on here, and I'm glad that I can, share my insight and be a little part of your amazing journey.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And last thing I will say is one day, maybe in the near future, we will get in the studio. I'll have to come to Gainesville, or we'll have to meet somewhere in Florida when I get back there, and we'll have you do a podcast in person. I like doing podcasts in person, but hey, the way of the world now is a lot of things, go on remote, but all that matters is we got a chance to record. So it was just great to have you on. Guys, as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Episode 72, and just a quick little champagne pop bottle here. We hit 208.7 thousand views on YouTube Shorts all time. So I just really want to say thank you guys for tuning in and watching these little clips. You guys only really get to see the clips when you see it, but when you listen to the actual episode, there's way more to the story than just a 30-second to a minute clip. So thank you guys, as always, for giving us the opportunity to record week in and week out for you guys. Episode 73. We'll see you next week. Thank you guys again.